Oregon has long been known for its abundance of water, but Oregon tree farmers know not to take the quality or quantity of water they have for granted. Here are some Oregon tree farmers and what they have done to collect and protect their water to the benefit of fish and wildlife.
Okay, this is a fish structure that we put in here in Hamilton Creek. It's a large fish stream, has steelhead that access it and use it in the spring. And this is a Doug fir and a cottonwood that are tree length with some very large root wads put it in there for large wood. The tree was pushed over, root wad attached, and it's wedged in between some alders, so it's going to be stable. We put 9 fish structures in on this about 3,000 feet of Hamilton Creek, and we're right above a lot of private property and homes and stuff, so we tried to make sure that everything that we put here would stay on the property. The ODF and W was out with us and gave advice on what to do and what they would like to see, and we tried to follow their guidelines as best as possible. This is a fish structure that we built in a flat stretch of the Hamilton Creek. It's in a spot where we couldn't, we weren't sure about if logs would stay here, so we built it out of large boulders and placed a root wad in the middle of it and surrounded it, wrapped it in with boulders, providing a break in this flat stretch of the river.
Also, we have initiated the restoration of Denny Creek, where we're putting some sections back into the historic channel. This area here represents a section of Denny Creek that was restored. The water that you see flowing here is back in the historic channel of Denny Creek. We've removed the cattle from this area. Denny Creek is where the cattle are fenced off from Denny Creek at this point. And we're going to allow the natural regeneration of the native grasses, trees, aspen, and shrubs in this area. This restoration project here is about 1.5 years old, and you can already see that there's been a change in the vegetation along the creek. Natural regeneration. We didn't plant a thing here, just removed the livestock from the creek. Trees everywhere. We have a small hydroelectric power plant on the ranch that was originally built in the 1920s, and I refurbished that in 1982, so we sell power to Pacific Power and Light Company here in Klamath County. Also,
3 good steelhead and coho salmon rearing sites on this property. This pool here at this recreation area is where the salmon kind of hole up until they finally get enough water coming down Bull Creek to go upstream to spawn.
Before we took the cattle off, there were no, I mean, it's hard to believe, but there were almost no willows and alder out there. In addition, there are now some black cottonwoods that Maria and I, my wife and I, planted about 4 years ago that are 25, 30 feet high. They grow like crazy, and they were a natural tree. And in that bank, you can see the 2 cottonwood trees. That bank was at least 7 feet high from the water level, just up. And we had juniper put in over here and tried everything to fix it or to let it heal. I don't know how many willows we tried planting into it, and it just wouldn't hold. So as part of the project, ongoing project, we now have juniper trees with the wads out into the river. Along the bank, there's some heavy rock, but not a rock wall. Anyway, the engineers tell me and the hydrologists tell us that this work, that bank will, this next year will have grown completely back in. There are probably 100 willow shoots that are over there that you can't see now. This is just a wonderful fishing hole right here. My wife caught a 4-pound German brown out of there the 3rd week of June this year.
Yeah, the guzzler was funded both by us and state of Oregon, the ODF&W. So it isn't a big game guzzler, and you can see a ramp as the water goes down. There's a ramp that goes down on like a 45-degree angle, so the birds can walk down the ramp to get to the water and then walk back up. But we put an additional stick in there, so sometimes they get stuck. It's pretty slippery. But in the wintertime and in the spring and during summer thunderstorms, this roof basically catches the water, and it's tilted and it runs off the end into the reservoir here, and there's 300 gallons. Water is a premium in eastern Oregon, and that's why these guzzlers are put in. Kind of acts like an artificial spring.
This is one of the bridges we replaced recently. We worked with State Forestry and the AARA. The bridge that was here before was a wooden structure, and it was rotting down, and so we worked on this to help in stream flows and water quality, because there is salmon that do run up and down this stream.